I'm going to move all these tabs over here and clean this up a little bit. Thank you for being so kind and bearing with me. We're also going to do a mock draft. So I don't know if you guys are into that at all, but it's going to be a good time. We're going to do a mock draft. Most fantasy leagues, they wait until the last second in case there's some kind of major injury or something like that. So you want to wait as long as you can to do the fantasy draft, but usually the weekend before kickoff is as late as we push it. Typically we can't do it on a weekday just because that people are at work and stuff like that. But we are going to, and I was talking to Ginger about this, what I want to do is, and I didn't even see this coming. Yo, good night. I'll be listening while hitting the sack of nuts. Got to get up in 4 hours. Love you guys. Always love you, Ginger. Thanks for listening. Hopefully my takes aren't so bad that it wakes you up out of a dead slumber. But I appreciate you helping us with the algorithm by hitting that play button. And okay, so. And before, since Ginger, you're going, I was just about to say the Fantasy Football League, I thought would be fun. So this is what we're going to do, $20 to play, okay? Because I had a fantasy league. I was a part of one league, and they're not doing it this year. And I'm like, that was kind of my whole, that's all I had. So now I need to create something new. And I already asked Ginger, and he said he's in. Okay. So, of course, I'm in. So that's 2 people. I want to have a minimum of 10 teams. So we still need 8 people. Now, I was thinking if we could get KC to play as well. I was thinking we could get E-Dub in it. Who else can we get in it? Some of our OGs, Casey, Ginger, Daniel Barry. Daniel Barry was here. Daniel Barry Sports, if you're still here, let me know if you would be interested in it. And then, yeah, that right there. If we just get Ginger, myself, Casey, Edub, Daniel Barry, and Rick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 people right there, and we're only 2 away. And because I wanted, I don't really care about the money. The only reason I wanted to do the $20 was because if you don't do any money, people don't set the roster, and it's not any fun if people aren't even invested enough to set their roster. So we wanted to create a little incentive there. Okay. So we do have some news today. We don't know how the Chiefs are going to overcome, but we know they will because they do every year. But I have a feeling this year is going to be different. And I was saying this the other day, the Chiefs won 13 games last season that were 1-score games. They went 13-0 in 1-score games. Do you guys believe that that's something that can be replicated? Because I really don't believe the Chiefs are going to be able to do that again, unless they are so good that they're not in 1-score games anymore. But with the division getting more and more difficult, you're going into Harbaugh's second year, okay, with the Chargers. Now, let's look at Harbaugh's first year. Jim Harbaugh's first year with the 49ers. He went 13-3. And in 2012, he went to the Super Bowl. And I know he went to the Super Bowl because the Ravens threw a Hail Mary to beat my Broncos to play the Brother Bowl. Okay, so in Harbaugh's first year, he went 13-3. That's crazy, right? Secured an NFC West title and a first-round playoff bye. It was the 49ers' first playoff appearance in 8 years. It was a significant turnaround for the franchise. And I remember this because This was the turning point for the 49ers were not good in my lifetime, but my father and my uncles, they all remember, Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, and they're telling all these crazy stories. My ass was born in 1994. You know who I saw? Nobody that I can remember. They had many of 13, I'm sorry, 3 and 13 seasons. That was the norm for the 49ers. So Jim Harbaugh came into a franchise that was, dead in the water, similar to the Denver Broncos for, thank God I wasn't born 10 years ago, because I would have spent my whole childhood not knowing what it was like to go to the playoffs or to win 10 games. I mean, it's absolutely insane how, depending on where you're born, it really shapes your entire experience as a fan. I mean, I missed all of John Elway's, all of it. I'm sure the hype in some way caught me because I decided at 5 years old to be a Broncos fan. So, like, I'm sure there was still, like, these subconscious things. Like, I grew up in Green Bay. So, of course, I was, watching the Packers Broncos Super Bowl. Too young to remember, but it was in my head. I saw John Elway do that helicopter, and this one's for John. And it's like, actually, he did that after the Falcons Super Bowl. After the Packers Super Bowl, he said, "This one's for you," and he's talking to the fans. But all I'm trying to say is I think maybe there were some seeds planted deep inside my subconscious, because right when I gained consciousness, the first thing I remember is that I was a Broncos fan. I went and got a Brian Greasy jersey, and it was like we had, good years with Jake Plummer. And crazy enough, like, Jake Plummer in a way like sustained my fandom, because I was such a big fan. But people forget we went 13-3 with Jake Plummer, made it to the AFC Championship game. Like, I got a taste of what winning was like. So although we weren't a dynasty, it was like my childhood still consisted of me staying up late watching the Broncos play in a playoff game, and staying up all night because we won and I couldn't sleep. I was so excited. These kids that were born in 2016 that are 10 years old now, or you don't have to be 0 because you don't remember football until you're maybe 6. So let's just say, they were born in 2010. Okay. That means they are, the first 6 years, they didn't remember any football. So they are now, okay, 2000, we're saying that they were born in 2010. That would make them 15 years old. And let's say they've been a Broncos fan their whole life, okay? 15 years old, and they just had their first 10-win season that they remember. Because everything that happened when they were 2, 3, 4, 5 years old with Peyton Manning, I don't know. That was that John Elway for me. Don't know. No clue. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I would have been born instead of 1994, I would have been born in 2010. My experience with the Denver Broncos would have been what the 49ers were to me growing up, right? It's like a bad team that just doesn't get good. I just can't even fathom how one of the winningest franchises in sports history was in this type of a dark decade. And I'm so glad we're out of it. But Jim Harbaugh was the guy that was able to take the 49ers and resurrect them in the same way Sean Payton has done for the Denver Broncos. But in Jim Harbaugh's second year with the 49ers, he took them to the Super Bowl. In Sean Payton's second year with the Saints, he took them, I believe, to the Super Bowl. Okay? So something's got to give. One of these coaches, Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, who is going to come out on top? It's very interesting. And I know everybody's thinking, well, what about Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes? I don't think they are on that level right now. And maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe they will. Okay. So let's see. Sean Payton's second year with the Saints, and Sean's actually going into his third year. So Sean Payton's second year with the Saints was the 2007 NFL season after reaching the NFC Championship game in his 2006. Wow, the Saints struggled to a 7-9 record, partly due to a slow start, but they finished fourth in the NFL in offense. In 2008, they improved their record to 8-8, and then they went to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. The lessons learned in the 2 years following his first season helped fuel the Saints to a Super Bowl victory. In 4 years, Sean Payton had taken the Aints to hosting the Lombardi Trophy. Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, who is going to get the better side of the other? And it's fascinating because I have never seen this much just raw coaching talent in the same division. And as everybody's focused on Kansas City for the reason that they're the New England Patriots right now, but the New England Patriots dynasty was only able to survive because the Buffalo Bills didn't have any kind of Josh Allen that whole entire time. The Dolphins were a joke. I mean, the most memorable thing about the Dolphins my entire life, which was pretty much the entire Tom Brady era, right? Tom Brady's like the first player that I was there for his first game, and then I remember all of his career. And it's like that division was notoriously bad every single year. I mean, yeah, the Patriots beat up on the Jets, who still haven't, as of August 30th, still haven't figured anything out. Somehow they've remained bad the entire time I've been alive. But besides that 1 year with Mark Sanchez, and that was just weird. Rex Ryan and Sanchez, and then all of a sudden he's out of the league. But the Patriots were only able to have a dynasty because their division permitted it. It was like every single year you were giving the Patriots a first round bye with home field advantage, and you were saying, Tom Brady, can you win 2 football games? You're not playing the wild card round. Can you win 2 football games and you're in the Super Bowl? Okay. Usually in the wild card round, there's one team that somehow like pulled it off, but they're not really ready to compete for a Super Bowl. And then if you're the highest seed, you play the lowest remaining seed. So the Patriots, they have to win 2 games. And usually the first game is like a Houston Texans. It's like, we all know that's not their year. Texans come in, they get beat pretty bad. And then the AFC Championship game, it's like, can you beat the Ravens? Can you beat the Steelers? Can you beat the Broncos? Okay. It really just came down to that one game. And then all of a sudden Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl and everyone's like, how does he keep doing it? I don't know. It's almost like I'm not hating either. I'm really not. I'm just telling the truth. Like the AFC East was just terrible. I mean, it was so bad. The Chiefs are supposed to be the next dynasty that replicate what Tom Brady did. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, is Andy Reid and Mahomes. It's like, yeah, the Chargers, the Broncos, Jim Harbaugh and Sean Payton, had they been in the NFC East with the Patriots, there would not be 7 Super Bowl rings. That I would guarantee you, a fact. And I hate doing hypotheticals because I can't prove them. So what's the point? But it's just, it wouldn't have happened, right? The Patriots, they cruise controlled into the AFC Championship game many years. And credit to them because they handled their business. They were coached really well, and they had a damn good offense with Tom Brady. But it's just not going to happen with the Chiefs. And I don't want to say they're dynasties. It's just, I don't know if you would even call it a dynasty, but if you did, it's over. It's over. The Broncos were so bad before Sean Payton got here that it's not surprising that the Chiefs have beaten the Broncos 15 times in a row. As much as I hated hearing that, it's like, yeah, I mean, that's the division, right? The Chargers, they keep chargering The Raiders, irrelevant. We don't even need to talk about them. So it's like the Chiefs took advantage of our division when it was at its weakest point in history, and they did what the Patriots were able to do in the AFC East. All they did was beat up on a bad division, get the first seed, play a pretty whatever team in the wild card round. The winner of the wild card round goes to Arrowhead, some team like the Dolphins or the Texans, and they kick a field goal, win the game, and then it's AFC Championship game, and then it's the same thing as Tom Brady. You win that game, you're in the Super Bowl, and then is Mahomes extremely clutch, and does he rise to the occasion and play his best football in the most important moments? Absolutely. But the fact that he's had so many opportunities at the Super Bowl has to do with the path to the Super Bowl being the path of least resistance. It has not been a tough road to the Super Bowl. And Mahomes has taken advantage of that because he is great. But things are going to be different. They won 13 games last season, one-score games. 13-0 in one-score games. That isn't happening again. It can't. It seems like it's impossible. If it happens again, I will eat my words. But I don't see that happening again. The division's tougher. And this division's going to beat the shit out of each other. I mean, the first game where we're going to get a real like AFC West, because week 1 is hard to gauge. No matter what happens week 1, you're like, oh, the Patriots beat the Bengals. Let me just hold on before I just deem the Patriots a playoff team and the Bengals a non-playoff team. Let me just wait. But once we get to like week 4 and week 5, I feel like we get a good idea of like, okay, this is a team that's going to run the football. Like the Chargers with Harbaugh. We knew by like week 4, there was multiple games where Herbert had like 120 passing yards. You're like, did he get hurt and leave in the first quarter? And it's like, no, this is the way Harbaugh's going to do it. You're like, he does have a quarterback that threw for over 5,000 yards, but hey, whatever. But it didn't matter because they kept on winning. And that was going to be Harbaugh's philosophy. And we understood that early in the season. Week 4, I believe, the Broncos and Chargers play. And it's going to be a huge game because the Broncos are playing the Titans. They should be able to win that game. Then they're playing the Colts. Should be able to win that game. All right, we're looking at a 2-0 football team, feeling really good about ourselves. And then it's going to get real. All right, we're going to play the Chargers. And we're going to play the Chargers, I believe, in LA. And then we're going to go back to Denver and play the Bengals on Monday night, which was the game of the year. And I was there in person. I can't believe I could go to a game that my team loses and say that was the greatest game I've ever seen. It was incredible. I wish we would have won. And then the next week we go to Philly and play the Eagles. So by week 5, we're going to be able to really gauge what we are. In not just us, but also what the Chargers are and what the Chiefs are. It's not going to take long. But if by week 5, the Broncos are 4-1 or 5-0, let's say they beat the Chargers. Let's say the Bengals continue to struggle like they did last year. They haven't really made any massive changes. You heard their offensive coordinator last week talking about, we just need to score more points in the defense. Like, yeah, you just tried that last season and it didn't work. But okay, let's run it back. So they're going to go with that. Let's say the Bengals, are 2-3. I think Zach Taylor gets fired after this season. So let's say the Broncos beat the Bengals and the Chargers. All of a sudden, it's a 4-0 team going into Philly. You're 1 win away from being number 1 in the power rankings. Like, that's how quick this could all shift. This whole narrative about this is the Chiefs division, it can shift in 5 weeks. And that is crazy. But that's the name of the game. And I'm telling you, the Broncos have been building quietly one of the most dangerous rosters in the NFL, and only Bronco fans have seen it happen. No, I don't want to say that. But there is just a very, very large portion of people that are either like, I'll believe it when I see it, or they just don't believe at all. And it doesn't matter to me. We had a 5.5 win total last season. I put all of the money I had on the over. I mean, it was such an obvious, like, okay, so whoever is in charge of these lines are, I don't know, they're just not paying attention. I couldn't understand, because I've been a fan of multiple Bronco teams that if they would have given us a 5.5, I would have been like, yeah, I'm not taking the over. I'm not taking the under. I don't want to bet on something like that because this team stinks. That was like last year. It was not like that at all. It was like, holy crap. How could everybody be so wrong about this team? How could everybody be so wrong about Bo Nix, which I didn't know until I saw him play in the Colts in the preseason. And some things you can just tell right away. Bo Nix's first preseason game, I went on here and I made a live video telling you guys that the quarterback carousel is over, and I will die on this hill. No quarterback has looked that good, period. I don't care if it's preseason. He should light him up if it's preseason, and he did. That's the whole point. It's like if Mahomes goes out in the preseason, shreds everybody, you would say, yeah, he should do that. He's Mahomes going against preseason guys. Okay, so then when a rookie quarterback does it, don't discredit it, right? If he did it, that means he's a lot better than his competition. That's a good sign going into the regular season, okay? And we got a really good look at Knicks going into the year, but people refuse to believe it. Went out, Seattle, Bo didn't have a great start to the season. It made me question a lot. I was like, I don't know. Like, he didn't look like this at all in all of those games. But I didn't doubt that Bo Nix was our franchise quarterback. I just was like, ooh, was I too much? And then the next week, I was at the home opener against the Steelers, and I was like, okay, so that's 2 weeks in a row that we're not looking like the team that I saw in the preseason. And then week 3, we went to Tampa and beat the piss out of the Bucs, and Bo Nix was born. And it was that moment from the rest of the season was just fun. It was fun again. We were having a good time. And that's what it's all about, is like that people look at Bo Nix's stats and they're like, oh, he had more touchdown passes than Mahomes. You know, he was one of only 3 quarterbacks that had over this many rushing yards with this many touchdowns and under this amount of interceptions. First rookie to have over 300 passing yards, 4 touchdown passes with no picks. He had all these, numbers. And the most important thing to remember was Bo Nix's season didn't start till week 3. He didn't throw his first touchdown pass till week 4 against the Jets. We're talking about a quarterback that's going to come into the season and he's not going to wait 4 weeks to start. He got it. And it wasn't like it was a Bengals thing where they're just a slow starting team. And Sean said it all off season that the focus has been starting fast so we don't put ourselves in the kind of situation that we did last year. All we have to do is go out there and start fast. We should have beaten the Seahawks and the Steelers. They were 1-score games. And at the end of the day, like, that's the difference between a 12-win team and a 10-win team. I mean, the Broncos were 1 loss away from not even going to the playoffs. Sean has been talking about it. This team's going to come out. They're going to be playing fast. But we didn't start slow because it was like our players weren't into it. We started slow because Bo Nix was adjusting to the NFL. Thank God it only took 2 weeks, right? I mean, that could have taken 10 weeks. And then the final 8 games, we would have been like, okay, we're good. It was only 2 weeks. I feel like that's enough grace. Like, you got quarterbacks now. Caleb Williams is going into, if he has a bad year this year, like, that's it. I don't know, because of the hype that was associated with him, if he would get a 3rd year. But you're seeing like Anthony Richardson's benched. That's it. And he didn't even play 2 seasons. He played a couple games, got hurt, missed the rest of the season. And then last year was his season. And now it's like, no, we're not even starting that guy. It's like, wow, you spent a 3rd overall pick on him. How are you not even going to give him? No, Shane Steichen is working with him every day. And he's like, he's not where he needs to be. Like, I'm sorry. And that's what's crazy to me is how this mystery of the quarterback, it's like no one can figure out how to do it. What is the best quarterback? Like, but Sean does somehow, right? Because he's looking for the right things, right? He's not looking for what they did well. He's looking for what they didn't do well. And then he's looking for how many sacks they take. And he's one of the first coaches I've ever heard that says sacks is a quarterback stat. It's not an offensive line stat. The Broncos had 55 sacks with Russell Wilson. Same offensive line last year, and PFF just ranked us the number one offensive line in the league, because Bo didn't take any sacks. I mean, you got to just like at some point tip your hat to Sean and say, like, he did it. He turned this team around. We got a franchise quarterback. And more importantly, this is the best defense in the NFL this year. So if we hold our opponents to 16 points per game, do you trust a Knicks that is not learning the playbook this year? Like, he's just going out there and reacting. Last year, he had to memorize the playbook. He didn't understand the why of the plays he was running. So at times it felt like, oh, okay, like maybe he's, a bad throw, a bad read. It's like, you don't understand. Like, he was out there memorizing plays. He wasn't out there actually like in the moment. And when he had those moments where you knew he was comfortable, it was like every single week he felt and looked more and more comfortable. And you saw a better and a better and a better version of Knicks, and all leading up to the Atlanta game, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. And then he was like, wow, he's getting it. He's really getting it. So I say all that to say, like, Knicks going into this season already, light years, that experience is invaluable. Like, he's going into the season starting at where he ended, and that is why I think Bronco fans should be excited, because who's to say that he stops improving this year, right? Like, he's still going to continue, for the first 2 years. I don't know. Do quarterbacks continue to get better? I mean, Mahomes started his first season in 2018 and he looked awesome. And then the next year he was an MVP. So, and it's like, I don't know, like, do you just have it or you don't? Manning took off his second season with the Colts. But his first year he was 3-13, How does the quarterback position work? It's not the amount of time you give a quarterback, it's not written in stone. And I think the most important thing is, like, is the quarterback getting better every single week? Because even if it's like incrementally small increments, he's getting better, I think you got to keep going with him. But if you've played Anthony Richardson and it's like, dude, it's been, 15 weeks and he looks exactly the same, like he's not expanding, right? He's not growing. Then I think you're like, yeah, well, of course we couldn't have predicted that. We didn't know that, you swing and a miss. So there's going to be a couple quarterbacks this year that are going to get their shot. Shedeur Sanders is going to be out there for somebody. I think it's going to be Cleveland. That's my guess. Some of the NFL news that I wanted to cover, and I'm going to start with the Chiefs because Rashee Rice accepts a 6-game suspension. And you're looking at the Chiefs and you're thinking, look, with the way the division is, and this is kind of where I was leading to, the Chiefs can't start slow. Like, the Chiefs need to go out and start fast. Travis Kelce's been talking all offseason about, like, how motivated he is. And if there's one person I believe in, the most, I believe in Travis Kelce more than Mahomes right now. But something happened to their relationship. I could see it on the field. And I don't think it has anything to do with Taylor Swift. I feel in my core that it had to do with the election. And there's few things that can really like come in between good friends. And that's one of the reasons I hate politics, is because it's one of those just, things that can really just like, you can forget everything that you've ever thought you've known about a person just because they went this way. Right. And that's why I hate the idea of like, what are you? Are you this or are you that? It's like, I don't define myself by your games. Like, no, if you want to know who I am, come hang out with me, get to know me, But unfortunately, when you're a superstar, your decisions are public, right? The Brittany Mahomes thing, the Taylor Swift thing. You got Taylor Swift endorsing this guy, you got Brittany Mahomes endorsing this guy, and all of a sudden, nobody talked about this on the media, ESPN, NFL, nobody. And I get it. It's personal. And I for one am all for the sports media not talking about politics, but I'm not asking them to talk about politics. I'm asking them to talk about how this was going to affect, their on the field gameplay, because I felt like I was the only one in the world that was like, look at their body language. Like, they're not even hanging out with each other on the sideline. Like, they're on the field. Like, they were like Batman and Robin. They were the duo, unbreakable duo, like, and it was just so obvious. I'm like, this guy's dating Taylor Swift, arguably like the most popular, successful woman in the world. And you see him on the sideline, like, and I'm like, why? He shouldn't be this sad. Only thing that can really like make you sad when you're on top of the world is not being good with your best friend or your family. And I felt all season something was just off. But with that relationship, the Travis Kelce to Mahomes, this year, I expect it to be repaired, because when you get beat in a Super Bowl the way they got beat, it has a way of humbling you, bringing you to your knees, and then you going up to your friend, your buddy, whatever, and just being like, you know what, like, forget about all this, like, I can't believe, we even let this get, it has a way of just like humbling you. So I expect Travis Kelce and Mahomes. I expect Mahomes and Brittany to be at Travis Kelce's wedding. And as weird as that sounds, I think that is a massive step in the right direction for them as friends. And I think that type of, that is a signal that like they're back. And I think Mahomes' best chance this year, in the way the division is that Travis Kelce and him are back to what they were before. It's one off year with Travis Kelce. Like, we can't ignore what we've seen the last 12 years with him. So if the Chiefs want a fighting chance, they can't come out with the energy that they came out with last year, right? And it's just so obvious too when you watched them play that something was off, because you got Rashee Rice out for 6 games. That's a pretty long suspension, okay? 6 games. And you look at their depth chart. They got Xavier Worthy, who's awesome, right? Awesome. Xavier Worthy's great, but he's not a wide receiver 1, okay? Now, let's look up Hollywood Brown, because Hollywood Brown is on the clock now that Rashee Rice is suspended. Now, Hollywood Brown hasn't been able to contribute at all, because he's been dealing with an injury, but they're going to need him to step up. And he ran with the ball during the first half of the Houston Texans game at Arrowhead. And as of, let's see if he has any designation, because there was an article written by USA Today that says what Rashee Rice's suspension means for Patrick Mahomes in the Chiefs wide receiver depth chart. Okay. Mahomes is going to have to do without his top wide receiver. Do we really look at Rashee Rice like a top wide receiver? I mean, he's the Chiefs' top receiver, but is he any better than, say, like Christian Watkins, or a Romeo Dobbs? Like it feels like it's like the Chiefs' best wide receiver, but that doesn't mean he's like, you know, I don't know. I think he's pretty good, but I don't know if he's like irreplaceable. I'll leave that up to you guys. The 25-year-old pleaded guilty to 2/3-degree felonies, and that was the collision involving serious bodily injury, and then he fled the scene. A Dallas District Court judge sentenced Rice to 5 years probation and 30 days in jail. Could you imagine? If I did that shit, I would go to jail for like, I don't know, a long time. 30 days in jail. That's crazy. Like, anyway, no, I can't just anyway that. Could you imagine if you or I did that shit? Like, hey, we're going to race on the highway, cause bodily injury, and then flee the scene and get 30 days. Anyway, Kansas City had to operate without Rice for most of the regular season last year because of a knee injury. Rice collided with Mahomes, and then he missed the rest of the season, as well as the Chiefs' run to the Super Bowl. And then we knew all off season this year that this suspension was looming. And the Chiefs invested in skill positions on offense this offseason. They selected multiple players in the draft. Jalen Royals, a wide receiver. They got a running back, Brashard Smith, on day 3. And they also got Jake Brenningstool, an undrafted free agent. Royals is dealing with knee tendonitis, which kept him out of the Chiefs' preseason finale. So, okay, let's start there. Because Jalen Royals is the only wide receiver that they drafted. Okay. So he is dealing with knee tendonitis, and he wasn't able to play in the Bears game. Another hit to the Chiefs depth chart. So let's just go. We'll say Royals, Rice, Brown. I'm going to put Kelsey just because he's a wide receiver. Let's be real. With Kansas City's main roster cuts finished, here's how things are stacking up right before the game against the Chargers, the opener. All right, Rashee Rice, suspended. Xavier Worthy, good to go, and he's gonna be your one. I guess Hollywood Brown. They got Juju Smith-Schuster. Hollywood Brown and Juju, I feel like, I don't know why, but in my head, they're the same person. I don't know why. I have no clue. What Juju, didn't he like, it's like, are these just Steelers, ex-Steeler wide receivers? What happened to Juju? Like, what's his story? He was drafted in the 2nd round in 2017. Wasn't he the one the Bears traded for? And it was like a terrible pick, and then he went to the Dolphins. And let me pull up Juju Smith. I feel like we all need a refresher on this guy. We all need a little bit of a refresher on Juju Smith. All right. What the hell is going on with this guy? All right. See all. All right. He was a Steeler 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. And then 2022, he went to the Chiefs. 2023 went to New England. And then 2024, he played with the Chiefs again. Okay, so it's weird. He's kind of bouncing around a lot. He played 14 games last season for the Chiefs. Really, 14 games. He's just not, I don't remember much. I mean, I remember he's on the team, but I just don't remember like him making a bunch of plays. He had 2 receptions that's the preseason. I was like, dude, no wonder. Okay. So this is his game log from 2024. All right, week 1, he had 1 target, no targets week 2, 3 targets against Atlanta, no targets week 4. He had 1 game where he had 8 targets against the Saints, but he had 8 targets, 7 receptions, 130 yards, a long of 50. But unfortunately, like, he had nothing close to that the rest of the season. The most receiving yards he had after that was 31 yards against the Chargers. And then it's 18 yards. Think about that. That is wildly weird. You got a guy who's, if I ranked his best games last season in Juju Smith, this is Juju Smith. His best game was Monday night against the Saints. He had 130 receiving yards, 7 receptions on 8 targets, a long of 50 yards. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, 2 receptions for 31 yards, no touchdowns. That's his second best game. All right. What's his third best game? 2 receptions for 18 yards. Okay. What about his fourth best game? 2 catches for 17 yards. Fifth best game? Yeah, we got 1 catch for 8 yards. I mean, how does somebody have a game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, week 5 on Monday night, prime time football? How does somebody have a game where you have 130 receiving yards and then you're a ghost for the rest of the year? I find that just crazy. I mean, he didn't even play the next week. 0 targets. He had 130 receiving yards. And then in his next 3 games combined, he had in his next 4 games combined after his 130-yard game, he had a total of 3 catches in the following 4 games after 130 yards. So I'm just going to write under Juju, question mark, right? What is it called? It's a boom or bust, right? With the boom being like a 1 in 18 chance. Usually boom or bust means it's like at least 30-70, but this is like not good. Not good for Juju. And what was the deal? Like, was he injured all last season? I mean, like, why the inconsistency, I guess, is what I'm wondering with Juju Smith. Because I feel like I heard that he was dealing with injuries. That rings a bell to me. Now, what's the story with Hollywood Brown? Because we need a refresher on these guys. These guys keep bouncing around the league, and we just need a quick little update. Hollywood Brown. All right. Last season, here we go. Let's see if these stats look any better. Here's his game log, 2024. I want to see the whole thing, not just the postseason. Why are you only showing me let me see the splits, I guess. Bio stats. Here we go. Okay. So his first season was with the Baltimore Ravens. His first 3 was with the Ravens. He had 500 yards, 584, then 769. He had his first 1,000-yard season in his 3rd season with the Ravens, but then he got traded or not re-signed, I don't remember, to the Arizona Cardinals, where he had 709 yards receiving, then 574 yards receiving. And then last year, he had 91 yards receiving. Okay, do you see why I forgot about these guys and I had to do this? Because they were ghosts last year. Like, the NFL was moving on without them. All right. I mean, this guy played in 2 games and had 9 catches all season. He only had 15 targets. He had less than 100 yards. I mean, fuck, Juju Smith had more receiving yards against the Saints than Hollywood Brown did the whole year. Okay. So what? I mean, what are we supposed to think with these guys? And then these are the guys that you're saying, oh, okay, you guys need to step up. I mean, you guys feel good about that? Rashee Rice gone, Hollywood and Juju. Anyone's guess what's going to happen with that. We know Jalen Royals, who they drafted, is hurt with the knee tendonitis. It kept him out of the Bears game. So, okay, what are we looking at here? We got Xavier Worthy, 2 wild cards, Jason Brownlee, Tyquan Thornton, and Nico Ramigo. Sounds like a nursery rhyme. Nico Ramigo. Where I go, you go. Okay, what is this player right here? Jason Brownlee, hometown Mississippi, went to Southern Mississippi. He's undrafted. Nothing against undrafted, but he is undrafted. I'm just saying, like, he's not. He's really nothing against undrafted. It's just let's not, he's not a first, second, third, fourth round pick. So then you got Tyquan Thornton, and Tyquan Thornton, he is a second rounder. Thankfully for the Chiefs, right? Somebody with maybe some upside here. He was selected 50th overall out of Baylor in the 2022 NFL draft. All right. His 2000, let's see his stats here. Okay. So he was drafted actually by the Patriots 50th overall. And he had, in his rookie season, 247 yards. Then he had 91 yards in 2023 with the Patriots. Then he had 47 yards in 2024. And then now he's a Chief. So he hasn't played with the Chiefs yet. And just a reminder, this is Tyquan Thornton, okay? Tyquan Thornton. I mean, 50th overall is pretty high pick for a guy that has 385 receiving yards going into his 4th year total on his career. This is another bust. That it's like, just call a spade a spade. The Chiefs have a terrible plan right now. Okay, and this is Tyquan Thornton. Okay, so the last guy is this Nico Ramigo. All right, it all comes down to this Nico Ramigo guy. Hopefully this guy has like a couple 1,000-yard seasons in his belt. I'm just kidding. We know he doesn't. We would know who he is. Undrafted, Fresno State. He's 25 years old. Seriously, why is everybody predicting the Chiefs are going to have no issues this year? It is boggling my mind. Me and Rick are going to do our AFC West predictions on Monday, and I am going to really put this in perspective. And that's why I'm glad I'm doing this right now. Okay, so this guy was drafted. I'm sorry, he wasn't. He was undrafted, but he was picked up by the Chiefs in 2023. He played in no games in 2023. In 2024, he did appear in 5 games. We only had 2 catches for 48 yards. That's what he's got on his career, 2 catches for 48 yards. That's our Nico Ramigo. Okay, so we're talking what? 48 yards career. So we got Tyquan Thornton, who's got like 20 yards in his career. Nico Ramigo's got 48 yards in his career. You got this other guy, Jason Brownlee, who is undrafted, and he has had no success really. And then you got Hollywood and Juju, who you're betting everything because these other guys are completely unproven. All right. Let's just be real for a second. These other guys, they're not just, it's not just that they're unproven, that it's more likely that they're not good than it is that they are good because it's not their first year. And we got Crooked Commission here. Sup, what's good? And he said, we talking for redraft or dynasty? Right now, we're gonna talk draft here in a second, but I'm just talking about the Chiefs because Rashee Rice just accepted the 6-game suspension. And I'm like, okay, so the Chiefs wide receiver room, Xavier Worthy, he's a stud. Okay, we get that, but Hollywood Brown has had him and Juju Smith-Schuster have had no success the last 2 years. You know, both of them, they have both been invisible. You know, I mean, we're talking like their second best game is 18 receiving yards. So you got two guys that you're like, okay, we really need you guys to be stars. Because Xavier Worthy, as good as he is, he's a number 2. Okay. So you're asking these guys that have been ghosts for the last year to be a number 1 wide receiver. And if you can't do that, then what's the plan? Because the Chiefs didn't bring in, this can't be the plan. They've got to be bringing somebody in. I mean, the Vikings were just in a similar situation with Adam Thielen. I mean, they brought in Adam Thielen because, you know, the suspension with Jordan Addison, but they didn't just like look at their depth chart and be like, yeah, this is a good plan. Let's go into the league week 1 with this. They were like, okay, we're going to have to make a move. They even tried to make a move for Devon Vele, but the Saints ended up getting him. But the point is like, why are the Chiefs looking at this roster and saying we're good? The only thing that's happened in the West is they've gotten way better, the Chiefs and the Broncos, and they won 13 one-score games last season. And their offense was mediocre. They've been 15th in points per game the last 2 years in a row. And this is their plan. And everybody's got them winning the division. That's what's blowing my mind. Injuries for Hollywood Brown holding him back. And now they're just hoping. See, this is the thing about injuries. Like, and it's the same thing with J.K. Dobbins in Denver, where it was like, oh, he's really good when he's not injured. But it's like, okay, but you're putting him in a position where like he can't get injured. You can't have your number 1 receiver get injured. And now you're not asking him, because the vision when you bring in a Hollywood Brown or a Juju is like, you could be a 2 and you can be a 3. We got Rashee Rice, who's a 1. Now he's out for 6 games. And you're like, okay, so the vision that we had, Hollywood Brown, we were going to make you a 3. So if you did get a little banged up, not a big deal. But now, you're asking him to be a real number 1 wide receiver. And it's up to him to prove everybody wrong. But there is a large sample size saying that's not going to happen. And for the Chiefs, I just can't believe that they haven't addressed this. I can't believe that because the Rashee Rice suspension, it was not surprising. Like, we knew going in to the season that this was going to happen. And you're like, Hollywood Brown's got 1,000-yard receiving season on his career total, and this isn't somebody, he's going into his 8th season. So I don't know. The Chiefs they're going to learn the hard way. Unless there's a massive deal for Tyreek Hill to come back around the corner that I don't know about. We got Jinja saying Steelers win in AFC North. I where did you hear that, Jinja? Are they going to go against the Cat, KC? Good question. Let me pull it up on Over the Cat. But like, you can manipulate the cap. Like, the cap, it's a fugazi. unless you're the Dallas Cowboys, and then it's very real. Okay, so right now, the 2025 cap space, the Patriots are number one. They have $51 million in cap space. How have the Chiefs spent the fourth most money in 2025 free agency, and that's their receiving room? Like, what? You guys have struggled offensively so much the last 2 years. But you know what it is they got used to winning those 13 one-score games, and they think, "Oh, we'll just find a way." It's not happening this year. The Chiefs are going to finish third in this division if they don't come up with a different plan in the next 5 days. 4. They have really 4 days to change their plan, or they're going to start 0-1, and that's real. And then they're going to make a move, right? It was like, what was that, 2 years ago, where they didn't have that contract with Chris Jones figured out, and then they went out there and I think they lost, or they almost lost, and then Chris Jones was signed the next day. But look, you spent the fourth most money of any team in free agency, $88 million, and you did nothing to your. I mean, I don't understand why they are doing this. I love it though. As a Broncos fan, I absolutely love it. Kyle Hamilton was signed yesterday on a 4-year, $100 million contract. We got Crooked Commish saying, "You think Rice ADP drops much? 6 games, it's terrible, but we only have 14 regular season fantasy games." Yeah, absolutely. If anything, it's going to. Have you drafted yet? If you haven't drafted yet, well, I guess if you already have drafted, hopefully you had the foresight to see this and you drafted Xavier Worthy, because I think it's definitely going to take a hit at Rashee Rice. Like, he's looking at being, in my opinion, a 7th or 8th round draft pick. All right. And anybody that thinks otherwise, go for it. Hold him on your roster for 6 weeks, drafting him. I don't know. Where is his ADP right now? Let me see. ESPN Fantasy wide receiver ADP. All right. So as of, let's see when this was updated. This was updated August 27th. But like I said, this news, it's not new. So we got, I'm in the 30s and I haven't seen, okay, Rashee Rice, 35. So 35 is his average ADP. So you got guys like Rome Odunze above him, Chris Olave above him, Travis Hunter. Like, and I was telling my brother this the other day, because he was like, he was drafting, and every time I suggested a player, he was like, "Oh, I got to scroll down for him. I don't want to scroll down for him." And I'm like, you got to remember that this list is their best guess. And it's just like the real NFL draft, where the further you get outside the first round, the more and more and more wrong that list is, right? Like, you got the top 5 guys, like, Jamar Chase, JJ, CeeDee Lamb, Puka, Malik, Amara, St. Brown. Like, these guys, they're all great, right? But once you start getting to like JSN, Devontae Adams, how's he going to be with the Rams? There's a lot of upside there. Stafford's back. Is that going to be an issue? Terry McLaurin, 16. I feel like that's low for Terry McLaurin. I mean, Terry McLaurin below Lad McConkey. I would put Scary Terry probably at 10. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. coming in at 18, Garrett Wilson at 17, Mike Evans at 19. I mean, Mike Evans is always at 19, and he always finishes like 6. Right? I think in 2022, he finished 2nd. I was just looking at that. I'm like, dude, Mike Evans has consistently put up numbers. Mike Evans in 2023, he was the 4th best wide receiver in fantasy. Guarantee you he was not projected 4. It's like no matter how many years in a row he does it, because now it's like, well, he's getting older, he's due for a bad year. And Liam Cohen, leaving Tampa Bay, I think that does actually hurt him a little bit. Have a 16-man draft this Sunday. Xavier is a worthy pick as a solid wide receiver number 2. Yes. And let's see where they have Xavier. He's at number 22, so right under DK Metcalf. I think that's too low. I mean, you got Xavier. I would put Xavier worthy where Tyreek Hill is at 13. Now, there's a delicate balance here, because just because you have a player, let's say you're a psychic and you know for a fact that you got a player that is projected at 22 ADP, but he's going to finish 7. If you're on the clock with the 7th overall pick, don't go, because you're not a psychic, so you don't know 100%. But I'm just saying, like, you don't want to overreach where, hey, the draft would have came back and that guy would have been there, and you could have had him and, Tyreek Hill. So, it depends. Like, if you're going down like 5 or 6 players, I don't care, because it's like at the end of the day, you were never going to get that guy again, because by the time it came back to you, he would have been gone. But outside of like those situations, it's like, hey, if you don't talk about it, I'll give you another one. Travis Hunter is like at 31. In the last the last 7 years, I think I pulled this up, okay? In the last 7 years, we've had rookies come into the NFL and finish like top 15. All right. We had AJ Brown in 2019. All right. These are the rookie. So I looked this up. Okay. I found 8 rookie wide receivers that finished in the top 15 in half-point PPR fantasy rankings over the past 7 years. So in 2019, AJ Brown finished wide receiver 15. In 2020, Justin Jefferson came into the NFL and he finished as wide receiver 7. In that same year, Jalen Waddle finished wide receiver 12. And then the next year, Jamar Chase entered the picture. He finished as a wide receiver number 4. Then Puka Nacua came in. He finished top 15, broke all those records, almost 1,500 receiving yards. He only had 6 touchdowns, but if he would have had 13, you would have been in the top 5, maybe 1. And then last year, Malik Neighbors, he finished as wide receiver 6. Brian Thomas Jr. finished as wide receiver 8. Marvin Harrison finished as wide receiver 15. So I drafted Brian Thomas Jr. last year in I think it was the 6th round. And the one thing I've noticed is no matter how many rookies come into the NFL and have success, people, unless it's a Marvin Harrison Jr. or a Jamar Chase, the other type of guys, people don't feel confident drafting them super high. That doesn't mean that they're not going to finish. I think it's very plausible that you're going to see Travis Hunter finish top 5, top 7. I'll say top 7. If he finishes as a top 7 wide receiver and his ADP right now is at 31, some people have it as low as 35, right? But Liam Cohen is I thought he was the best head coach candidate this year. And you got him coming into Jacksonville, and he is he's going to get Travis Hunter in space. He's going to get Travis Hunter the ball. And Travis Hunter's electric after with the he's just a gamer, man. He's a gamer. And the idea that like, oh, Trevor Lawrence is a bust or wash. No. Trevor Lawrence, he's the real deal. He's not going to be a bust. He's just not. So I'm betting on Liam Cohen. I'm betting on Trevor Lawrence, and I'm betting on Travis Hunter, and I'm stealing Travis Hunter. And I think it's possible that this is somebody you could get in the 4th round, and you could have a wide receiver 2 for the whole season, which allows you to do my favorite strategy is to go running back, because I feel like there's a lot of wide receivers, and I'm going to share something with you guys. There's a lot of wide receivers that you can get that can get you, 15, 20 points on a given week. There's not that many running backs that can do it. I mean, there was 18 running backs last season that averaged 14 or more points. All right. If you're in a 9-man league, let's just go to 15, right? There was only 11 running backs last season that averaged 15 or more points per game. So if you're in let's say a 5-man, let's say a 6-man league, or that means if you're in a 10-man league, only 6 of you were getting at least 15 fantasy points per week from your running back. The other 4 of you were, going with guys like Tony Pollard, getting multiple weeks with 6 or 8 or 9 points. Oh man, hoping Kenneth Walker gets healthy, and then he's giving you, 10 points a week. And it's just like the drop off is significant. And that's why like you got to go with the guys that give you the best chance. And then you got to keep in mind, if you're in a PPR league, like Bijan Robinson, as far as rushing yards, like he didn't have the kind of numbers that Saquon had, but the dude had, I don't know, it was like 50 receptions, like over 500 receiving yards. He's the CMC right now. So I'm going to share this screen with you. And let me open this up. Let's see, share screen. Window, boom. Okay. So this is a chart. Let me see if I make it bigger. Will it? There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to even zoom in a little bit. Hopefully you can. I guess that's the most I can zoom. Okay. But you see here, this is last year's. Damn it. Stop it. This is last year's. Okay. So this is 2024's running backs. You got, look at that. Jahmyr Gibbs, week 1, 46 fracking points. Saquon Barkley, week 12 with a 46er, a 33er, 26, 33. So what I did last year was I did this last night. I pulled up several different metrics to gauge basically like how easy it was going to be for each running back to have success. So I looked at I pulled up last year's stats for rushing yards allowed per game, and each team had a number. So let's say Denver was 86 rushing yards allowed per game. Pittsburgh was 87. Baltimore's 90. I went down and got every team's rushing yards allowed per game. And then I pulled up the top 10 running backs. And then I looked at the schedule. And then every opponent that running back had, I went down, found the rushing yards allowed per game, and I added up all 17 of those numbers. And then I got a number for each running back. Okay. The higher the number, the better for the running back, because that means that, they're giving up more rushing yards per game. And I did that. I did stuff rate percentage with every opponent. I pulled a lot of different data, but interestingly enough, all of the data I got suggested that nobody's going to have a easier path, meaning playing softer running defenses than Bucky Irving this year. Bucky Irving is going to, in my opinion, be the number 1 or number 2 or number 3 running back in fantasy football. So if you're looking at a Bucky Irving at 12, I mean, my plan would be, if you're drafting, let's say you're in a 10-man league, okay, and you're picking 10th, you get that back-to-back pick. So somebody's going to be taking, wide receivers. I mean, off the board, you're going to have in the first round, you're going to have, let's see, for wide receivers, okay, you're going to have Jamar Chase gone. Justin Jefferson's going to be gone. CeeDee Lamb probably is going to be gone. And then that is going to open up, 3 running backs that shouldn't be there. So 1, 2, 3. So I think you're going to be able to get like a Derrick Henry, a Kyron Williams, a Josh. I would get an Achane. You can go back to my live stream of the draft. The Broncos were on the clock and I was like, get Achane. I was banging the table and they go, the Broncos select. It wasn't Devon Achane. And then the worst part is, with the next pick, the Dolphins took him. And it was brutal because I think we were in the 3rd round. And, it's like, oh my God, of course, the pick after. It wasn't as obvious as the 1st round. I was like totally shocked. The Dolphins did it with the next pick, but I knew this guy was a gamer. And he's going to be a gamer this year. He's going to get a lot of catches out of the backfield. If I went into this season with Achane and Bucky Irving as my RB1 and RB2, I would feel like I am about to tear shit up. And Crooked Commish said, as a Bears fans, I have to say Ben Johnson being the best coach out there. My buddy who we shoot this podcast live every Monday, he's a diehard Bears fan. Diehard. And I'm a Broncos fan. So it's like we've had that exact joke. Every time I say Liam Cohen, I think, is the best, he's like, Ben Johnson. Like he's he makes it known. But I hope you come back, dude, because he's really gonna be stoked. Like he doesn't have a Bears fan in here yet. You would be his first Bears fan in here. Isn't Devin going to miss some time? I haven't heard that, but I'm going to check really quick. Calf on track to be healthy for week 1. Dolphins running back Jalen Wright had a minor procedure. Goal is September-ish. Return per Miami sign. Achane, calf. Calf on track to play week 1. Okay. Thank you, though, because that is something worth monitoring. But Achane, hopefully it's, nothing serious, because, some of these freaking injuries, they linger all season, and you're like, damn it. I mean, CMC was brutal. But, look, CMC, I'm going on record saying, if I'm on the clock at 8 overall and CMC's on the board, I'm taking him. If I'm on the clock at 5th overall and it's between Achane and CMC, I'm taking CMC. Everyone's like, oh, but the injuries. I'll take it. I'll take the risk. I think I'm good enough in the waiver to overcome. And I'm going to pat myself on the back. I've won my league championship. It's a good feeling. But the only reason I won it was because of waiver wire. I mean, my roster that I drafted was like 40% there by the end of the season. Stephon Diggs was the real reason. Like I won it that year, who I did draft, but it's just being quick in the waiver. Like you see a guy on Sunday that balled out, even if he was a, an RB2, but, pick him up. And then if the starter gets, hurt, you have that insurance and you're like, no, this guy is going to be an RB1. I mean, that's what happened with me last year with Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving had a game and I was watching him closely. It was like week 3 or week 4. And I picked him up and he was like by week 6 or week 7, he was a flex. I was able to flex him. This is a guy that finished 12th and I got him off waiver wire. So yeah, right here. So you see, it's actually going this way. So Bucky Irving, 9 points, 2 points, 11, 12. This is when I started 11, 12, picked him up, saw the 6, benched him. He had 18 points on my bench. I started him, flexed him. Oh, he had a down week, flexed him, injured, flexed him. And, the rest is history. But I like Bucky a lot this year. A lot. Now, Aaron Jones is an interesting running back this year because, I think he's a high value pick. I feel the same thing with Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard has been like attempted to be replaced for like 3 years in a row, and he just continues to be the best. I mean, look at this. I mean, you got games here 27, 22, 18, 15, 21, 25, 20, 32. Yeah, you got a couple, flounders in there, but overall, I mean, that's a good, that's a good season. Top 15 running back. And this is somebody that I guarantee you last year, somebody drafted him in like the 7th round, 6th round, 7th round. So you want to find those guys this year, because one thing I noticed when I was going through was that very rarely do the top performers repeat. I mean, in 2022, the best running back was Austin Eckler, Jonathan Taylor, and CMC. In 2023, CMC was the best. But Austin Eckler wasn't even on the top 3. And Raheem Mostert was number 2, who, that was like a one-off year because he led the NFL in touchdowns. He was like 34 years old and he was just having this crazy year, but it was like a one-time thing. And then ETN, he disappeared. He finished 3rd in 2023. And then Kyren Williams in 2021, CMC, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara. And Alvin Kamara, man, he is another guy I don't know what to do with. I mean, where did Alvin Kamara finish last year? Here's Raheem Mostert. Look at this. Raheem Mostert, 1 year removed from being the number 2 fantasy running back in the NFL. And he averaged 4 points a week. Didn't play for most of the season. And that's why I say I'm very weary on people that want to cling to last season, right? There's a couple times, there's some examples of when like, you're like, no, I'm riding the momentum. That's the hot hand. If it's a rookie running back that showed you something like Bucky Irving, don't be afraid. But if it's a 34-year-old that, had a breakout season, don't expect him to do it again at 35. And Crooked Commish with the sub. Let's go, baby. I subbed up. We need to do a collab. I do a fantasy show on Wednesday nights with my co-host. I would love to do that, man. I would absolutely love it. Thank you for subscribing, seriously. And anybody else watching this that's enjoying this, please hit the like button, hit the sub button. I forget to ask because I just don't like it. But if you do like it, honestly, then like it. But yeah, I mean, we're getting Raheem Mostert. Like, you gotta recognize the one offers. Like, I think I'm gonna just give you a couple guys I liked. I told you I liked Devon Achane when he was drafted. He was like my guy. Last year, my guy that was my Devon Achane was Isaac Urendo. Isaac Urendo. Never really got great at saying his name, but I do like a pre-NFL draft thing, and I, display my favorite players. And he was my favorite player, my favorite day 2, day 3 pick. And I believe the Niners got him in the 5th round, which is insane value. And the 49ers, remember, they brought in Brian Robinson. So I don't love that. But Brian Robinson has had a lot of issues trying to stay healthy. And CMC, if CMC's, I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, I think CMC's good to go. I've seen clips of him catching the ball down the sideline. Like, he looks good to me. But maybe the plan is to, get Isaac Urendo into the game more. Because he's just so talented. I mean, did you see the games he did start last year? He went over 100 yards, broke out, and I'm like, I know. I'm like, that's the only thing I'm good at. It seems like I can really evaluate the like, mostly running backs, I would say. I don't know why. I was never a running back, but I'm like 4 for 4 right now. Since I started this podcast, and it got to the point where people are like, who's the running back this year? I'm like, I don't know. I did whiff on Cam Akers. I'll admit that. I expected Cam Akers to be really good because he was so good in college. And he was filling the shoes of Dalvin Cook, which, he's the greatest Florida State running back of all time. I mean, Dalvin Cook was untouchable at Florida State. But Cam Akers filled the shoes well, and he was, in his own right, amazing and just so explosive. And for whatever reason, like, I don't know. I've just never been that wrong about somebody. I don't know what happened with Cam Akers, but I did hear things that, like, when he was with the Rams, he was like falling out of love with football, and I just hope he regains that love back, because I feel like we haven't seen the best out of Cam Akers. And I believe Cam Akers, where is he still with the Vikings? Vikings rumors intensify on Kendrick Bourne, the cornerback fix in Cam Akers. Let's see what this is about, because this is coming from VikingsTerritory.com. The Minnesota Vikings offseason is essentially over, and the real thing is rapidly approaching. Rumor: the Vikings explored a Kendrick Bourne trade before acquiring Adam Thielen from the Carolina Panthers. This NFL Network's Tom Pelissero tweeted this week, the Patriots are releasing Kendrick Bourne per sources after missing most of camp with a foot injury. Bourne is healthy and wanted a fresh start. Now he gets it and can find a new home. Pelissero's colleague, Mark Garofalo, followed up the tweet a few minutes later and said the 49ers seem like a logical landing spot, but the Vikings had interest, and a few other teams are likely to show interest now that Kendrick Bourne is a free agent, one to watch. It's unclear if Minnesota would sign Bourne after trading for Thielen. It has not done so a few days removed from the Thielen trade, perhaps not. But so long as Bourne remains a free agent, Wire, it's useful to know the Vikings kicked the tires on his trade availability. These are the club wide receivers without Bourne. Justin Jefferson, of course, we got Jordan Addison out 4 weeks. Adam Thielen, Jalen Naylor. See, you get it though. Like, the Vikings, Jordan Addison dealing with the suspension. You got a lot of unproven guys in the room, and you're trying to fix it right? You're actively trying to fix the problem. You're bringing in Adam Thielen. You're like, this is what I'm wondering why the Chiefs aren't doing it. The Chiefs and the Vikings are in the same exact situation, and one team is handling it like they're in that situation, and the other one is not. They are just comfortable with what they got, and they shouldn't be. But like I said, I'm happy. The Chiefs want to make a dumb decision and go into the season with all they got right now. They're going to lose week 1. That's how that's going to go. Ooh, did I just give away one of my sneak previews? All right, well, let's get into our mock draft. All right, I think we've done enough chit-chatting. Maybe. I don't know. I could talk about football all day. We got Ginger. He said, you got to give Brian Robinson a pass. He's got that shot. Oh, too soon? Not really funny, but haha. No, what's up with football players getting shot? It is happening. Cam is a free agent. He was with the Saints this preseason, but he got cut. Man, I hate that for him. I hate that. I hate that Cam Akers can't find a team. It's amazing how good you can be in college, and then all of a sudden you're just bouncing around the league, trying to find a home, can't find a league. Let's see, mock draft now. Here we go. I want to do let me ask you, Crooked Commish, are you drafting a 10-man league or a 12-man league? Because I'm going to do what you're doing. Since you subscribed, I'm gonna do a mock draft for your exact situation. Holy crap. 16? That's a thing? Holy crap. I like it. That's insanely difficult. Holy crap. Or a 14. Let's go 245, 14 PPR standard. Crap. All right. Let's go to let's see, members. Here's one. 10. I might be able to. Here we go. 10 team. 12 team. I don't know what H2H. I just do PPR. Let's see. 10 team PPR standard. Oh, they just filled up. Well, I guess they fill up pretty fast. What's the difference between expert, beginner, and pro? Let's see. 12 team PPR mock. Join this league. Crap. All right. Let me do that for a second. You can now log into ESPN with your Disney. We couldn't log you in. Why the hell not? You already have. I don't want a Disney account. Oh, now they've already filled up. Come on. 12 team. Here. I'll just log in. Oh, okay. I guess ESPN is merged with Disney now. Okay, boom, I'm in. All right, so 10 team, 12 team, PPR mock. Here we go. This draft has begun. Okay. 12 team. Let's see. 10-team PPR standard. 10:50. So that's in 5 minutes. This one's 12-team PPR standard. Okay. Join. Boom. I'm in. All right. Well, let me share my screen. And there we go. All right, 3 minutes and 56 seconds. And just as a reminder, like I said, I like to go running back. That's just me. Kyle's deluxe team. No, we got to change that. Even if it's a mock draft. We're going to go suck Mike. Suck Mike Dicka. Let's make sure we spelt this right so we don't look like a Mike. Ditka. Ditka. Yep, we got it. Suck my Dicka. That's funny. All right. Continue to the draft waiting room. All right. 2 minutes and 55 seconds. I love it. All the other weirdos up into the wee hours doing mock drafts, preparing for every imaginable situation. We got FKNG GFK. Fucking go fuck. Yo, let me call in. Enticing. I can't though. I use my phone as my webcam. But if you wanna collab, just comment on this this video, and then I'll shoot you a private message, and we can do some collabing. Ginger said that league's deeper than a fat girl prune. A fat girl poon. Oh, dang. Ginger. I didn't think there's much of a difference. Oh, okay. We're talking about the what are we talking about? I love these names they come up with. Isaac's impressive team. Kay's top-notch team. Yeah, but I'm Travis's talented team. It's like, yeah, but I'm Donovan's daring team. It just has to be an adjective that starts with the same letter as your name. But I'm Bob's best team. The rookie or hard or expert. Yeah. I'm like, what is the what, you get less time? I mean, hey, I mean, I can't imagine like the difference. I mean, you're not actually going into your season, you're just picking your players. Like, how could it be any easier or hard? It just is what it is, you know? Come on, we need to fill this bad boy up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. I know there's some people home from the bar, girlfriend, wife, passed out sleeping, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I get a quick mock draft in. Come on. Everybody's counting on you. How does it work? If they don't fill up, do they just run it another 5 minutes? Oh, no. Oh, they're going to, okay, they're probably going to auto draft the teams that don't exist. And all right, where am I drafting? Suck my dicka. I'm drafting number 2 overall. Hell yeah. Oh, what is the money thing? I'm not even going to worry about that. Okay. So going number 2 overall. Ooh, God, that's not where I love picking. I'm going to do something really bold. Really bold. What are you going to do, Isaac's impressive team? Are you going to impress us? Damn. I'm going to tell you this. If Jamar Chase doesn't come off the board, I'm going to take him. If Jamar Chase comes off the board, I'm going to do something that's going to make a lot of people angry. But I'm going to explain it. When you Oh, it's football! Oh, come on. Hit it one more time. Okay, so when you see money, that's what they means, at least most of the time. Okay. So offer oh, so we can offer each other money? Holy crap. Current offer 63 for the first round pick. Can I want to offer my pick. I'm drafting? Got him. Holy crap, I got that on the fucking skin of my teeth. Oh my god. Yeah, I wanted CMC. And you know what? I say this all the time. If I had a dollar for every time wait, I pick again? Holy crap, I was not prepared for that. Jamar Chase. Select. Wait, is this me? What just happened? Am I missing something? Okay, this is definitely not the kind of league I've ever played in. This is wild. Current offer, $63. I'm gonna just what does the offer mean? Offer $67. Does that mean it's my pick now? Holy crap. Yeah, I'm not sure what I did, but CMC and Barkley is okay with me doing something right. All right. So I got $133. Oh, it's an auction draft. You're in an auction draft, my friend. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Team 9 is okay. Okay. So how do we know what player is being bidded on in that particular moment? So right now it's Justin Jefferson, right? And I'm not gonna do that. I just wanted him to spend more money. The thing is he's got fucking JJ McCarthy throwing him the ball. Oh, okay. When it's your turn, you pick a player to dude, this is fun. I did not expect to learn this on oh, Trayvon Hendrickson, he's gonna be wildly overpaid for. Look, he returned the kickoff. He's a very explosive player, but Ramondre Stevenson is the workhorse there. I'm not saying he's not going to have a couple 20-point games this year, but I think he's going to be a guy that averages around 10. What, we're still bidding on Trayvon Hendrickson? I'm not spending that much money on him. Sorry. This is so much fun. I feel wait, what happened? I lost my guy? Oh, I just queued them. I thought they were on my team. Damn, that sucks. Okay. Okay. I think I'm understanding it. So CMC is yeah, I'm gonna offer it. That was I wanted him as my first pick, second overall. Wait, I thought I just matched the offer. I thought I offered the most for. All right, well now I got to go all in on Saquon Barkley, but I'm gonna wait until they build it. This is crazy. So we only have $200 for our whole entire draft. I can't spend $70 if I only have 200. Now that how much money did man, this is tough. I like this. Okay, so uh this is way cheaper than winning. I like that winning. I'm gonna go all in on CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, that's what makes it tricky. Some guys blow their load on guys like Chase. I mean, I got $61. Good, good. I mean, I just saved $10 on wait, am I the guy that blew my load on Jamar Chase? No, but look, I mean, I got Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb, and I think I can get some good value running backs. My next bid is going to be Bucky Irving. When do I get? Okay, it's got to go through Puka Nakua. I'm out on the wide receivers right now. Fill the rest of the team up with guys for like $1. I mean, am I going to be able to get anybody good for $1? I'm going to have to at least spend like I would like 15, right? Malik Neighbors, watch him go crazy. Who's throwing him the ball? Know what I mean? Who's doing it? All right. This is so much fun. It was weird at first, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, I had no idea what was going on. But I feel like this is a lot this is like I don't know, not more realistic, it's just different. That whole salary cap thing is like it's kind of cool. Is there like if you buy somebody for say like I bought Jamar Chase for $67, can I trade him? Like how does the money work after the draft's over? Devon Achan, here's a guy that I really want. $56. I feel like $56 is good. Let's go. I love that pick. I just got a top 5 running back this year. I got Achan, Chase, and CeeDee Lamb. I'm loving this. And my quarterback, I know you're going to call me a homer, but I don't care. I mentioned earlier that Bo Nix didn't throw a touchdown pass till week 4. Yet he finished with more than Mahomes. He was like one of 3 quarterbacks with Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson that hold on, I'm going to get back to it. Actually, let's do this right now. Quarterbacks. Let's do it. Why can't I? Current offer $5. Oh, now I can only because I'm out of money. Fuck. Damn it. So that's it. That's my team. All right. Well, I'm still going to be able to get, I'm not worried about quarterback. I need one running back. I can get by with tight end. I need to start thinking about who I'm going to get in a bargain because I'm in a really interesting situation where my max bet is what is pre-draft value? Okay, that's what they should be going for. What was Jamar Chase's pre-draft value? Pre-draft value. Does it tell you? We got Josh Jacobs. So you get money to bid on free agents throughout this season. Okay, you can trade Chase, but not sure if you can do it for cash and players. I might join one of these like free leagues just to dip my toes in the pool and see what it's about because I like it, but I obviously don't understand what I'm doing because I'm the only one with less than 20 bucks. But I also have nobody's gonna have a better receiving core than me. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how can I is there anything I can do to I mean, what kind of person's gonna am I gonna be able to get for $4? Like that's just not gonna happen. AJ Brown. Oh, he's already up to $43. Pre-draft value is 50 and they're going up to 52. That's the other thing too. Like I guess you get into a bidding war with somebody and you lose sight of how much money you have. You won't be able to do much till that's for your main squad. Yeah. That's pretty much I don't want to because I'm streaming this. I'm going to have to put mine on auto and I'm going to have to I want to join a real one where I know what the hell I'm doing because that was actually not my plan. That was fun. But that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Fantasy football. Where is the mock draft? Here it is. Mock draft now. Here we go. I don't want snake. That's what I do. Snake. Practice draft. No. Snake. Draft type snake. Mock draft. Drafting room. Join a league. Try a mock draft. That's what I'm trying to do. Oh wait, is it saying that I can't because Oh, okay. I just have to click it there. Okay, I got it. So here we go. Salary cap. No. Snake. Beginner. Here, 10 team. H2H. This seems right. Okay. Boom. Kyle's top-notch team. Hope you can be good with the waiver wire as well to fill your team when injuries hits. Yeah. I had no idea what I was doing in there. I was out of my league. No pun intended. I was literally out of my league. All right. Well, we got 4 minutes, so I did want to see some NFL news. What do we got here? 2025 playoff predictions. Let's see. How is this? I click on a link for playoff predictions, and this is the first thing I see. What the hell does that have to do with the playoff predictions? I'm not even like an anti-Swift fan. It just makes no sense. It's like, that's why people get annoyed. It's not even that they don't like her. It's just that you're like forcing her in places that you didn't even ask for. It's like, yo, you want playoff predictions? How about Taylor Swift? Okay, AFC West. Oh my gosh. Of course they have the Chiefs winning the West. Why though? The Chiefs hold on to the division, and the conference appears to be as tenuous as it's been in years. The Broncos and Chargers received some division consideration from our analysts, but we were both ultimately dumb. I mean, seriously. The Broncos and Chargers objectively have a better roster, and the Broncos have the best roster in the division objectively. Like, the Chiefs have no receivers. They were 15th in points per game. They're not going to be okay this year. This is going to be, what was Tom Brady's worst record with the Patriots? But that's a bad example because he played in a weak division his entire time in New England. There's like 1 year where where the Jets had Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan. So of course he cruised through his division. He went 9-7 in 2002, which was the year after they won the Super Bowl and they missed the playoffs. Wow. I forgot about that. Okay. Well, that's my record for the Chiefs this year. Let it be known. The Chiefs are going 9-7. And we got 2 minutes until we are drafting. I'm so pumped this is actually my first mock draft this year, which I'm super pumped about because I like live for this. One minute, 53 seconds. That's enough time to start some shit. All right. Let's see. 2026 NFL free agents. Hey. He's not going to be there. And we're also not paying him $47 million a year, just so we're all clear. Having earned his first Pro Bowl selection with 13.5 sacks, Bonito is not a year one wonder, but a player who steadily built his game to become an unpredictable every down difference maker. Solidifying those gains in 2025 will net him a quarterback-like contract. What is our we're gonna have the money next year. That's what's exciting. Let me see. Broncos cap space and over the cap. So let's see. 2025 total liabilities. Let's see. Enter the draft room. Where they got me? Where they got me? Ooh, look at me. I'm picking number 2 again. I'm picking number 2 again. So they got offense, defense, team cap $15 million 2025. Then it goes up to $48 million because the Russell Wilson contract is finally over in 2026. Look at 2027, $79 million. And we're just like nothing there. But yeah, I mean, we're going to pay Nick Bonito. He's going to be a Bronco. That's my opinion. Football. All right, I'm on the clock. And oh, this is tough. I don't like this spot, but ooh, I don't care. I'm not going to take 1 year of CMC being out and ignore that in 2022 he was top 3 in 2023. In 2021 he was number 1, in 2022 he was top 3, in 2023 there was nobody even close to him. That's 3 years in a row where he's like separated himself, and then he has 1 year where he doesn't play, and he looks great. He looks healthy. I expect him to be at least top 3 this year. So the upside, of course, is that he's on an island by himself, nobody close. And I expect a lot of passes to be thrown to him with Deebo Samuel not there, Brandon Aiyuk dealing with injury. CMC is all they got. It's going to be like the Carolina Panther days, but with better blocking, better coaching, better quarterback. So, okay, what RB are you hoping for now? Cook, Hampton? Um, the Amari and Hampton thing, I'm I've I don't know what's going on with the Najee Harris eye. And it's just been the news has been so obtuse about it. And I'm starting to feel like with Rashawn Slater's injury, and the final thing is like picking a Charger running back. Ugh. Because at some point they're going to play us twice a year, and I can't cheer again. I'm just going to, if I'm going a rookie running back, I'm going RJ Harvey. But I hope it doesn't come down to that. So where are we right now? We're in round 2 already. And oh, okay. So it just goes left to right. So I pick 1, 2, 3. I pick in 4 picks. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me think. So I'm gonna go Bucky Irving with my next pick, unless he gets picked. I'm going Bucky Irving. And I said that before we even did this. I said if I could get Bucky Irving and CMC, I like my chances against anybody. And then I'm going to turn around and get a come on, just one more pick. One more pick. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. God, he's the only running back on the board that makes any sense. Ah, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Yeah, he's not gone. Let's go. Oh my God. That's crazy. I got 20 seconds. I think I'm going to go Drake London. I'm going to go Brock Bowers. I'm taking Brock Bowers. I mean, he was so good last year, and he's all they got. I wanted to go Drake London. I really did, but I was like, Brock Bowers is. I feel like there's a big drop off with tight. Oh, I don't feel there is. There's a significant drop off from the top tight ends, and then everybody else. I feel like we could get some good wide receivers a little bit later, and plus, by the time this comes back to me, I could probably get Terry McLaurin still. We'll see how it shakes out. Geno, a much better quarterback too. Yeah. London would have been good. It's tough sometimes when you got, two that make sense. I'll leave that up. All right. Where are we at? Andrews. And I pick 39. And we're at pick 30. So I got 9 picks. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this right here actually is that's going to be my pick. Here's the thing. Xavier Worthy is all Mahomes has. That's it. Like if he throws a touchdown pass, it's either going to Kelsey, the other tight end that they have, other white guy, can't remember his name, or it's going to Worthy. And even in the Super Bowl, like Xavier Worthy had that deep touch. They were building a good rapport late in the season. And plus, even once Rashee Rice gets healthy, if Mahomes built a relationship with Worthy through the first 6 weeks, he may get the benefit of the first look even past Rashee Rice. But we'll see. We'll see how the board falls. Garrett Wilson and Terry McLaurin, if somehow we don't have anybody auto drafting, so if somehow they fall to me, that's where I'm going. But Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, I probably am going there. I feel like Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best option. Oh, I'm on the clock. Garrett Wilson. Yeah, done. Easy. This team is sick. Trayvon Hendrickson's way too high here. And I'm about to be on the clock again. I'm torn right now because I feel like Mike Evans, but I'm going to go with the youth. Let's see. Okay. Watson QB1. I just randomly wake up and say some random shit. When I first read that, I thought you were just like, I just woke up saying some random shit. Because my girlfriend does that all the time. I'll be watching a football video and she really wants to be like, turn that down. I'm trying to sleep. But because she's dreaming, she's like, turn this trash. And I'm like, instead of ignoring her, I'm like, hey, what did you say? And then I turn it down, but I'm like, Obviously, she said nothing, but I'm like, did you hear yourself? You said something about taking out the trash? This is where I'm going next. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. You're going way down the board for him. Don't care. I'm going to flex him, and he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver. Seriously, though, the fact that Sam Laporta is still on the board, this is another thing I've been talking about. Like, Sam Laporta last year would have been off the board, but he has a down year, and then everyone overreacts. This is where all the value is. Just look at the best players that had a down year and pick them. CMC, Sam Laporta, David Montgomery will be my next pick, and I'll flex him. And if anything ever happens to Jahmyr Gibbs, I have insurance of a no shit RB1. I think I'm gonna be able to. I think I'm gonna be able to land Travis Hunter, and I'm pretty stoked about it, to be honest. Unless somebody does something wild here, I'm gonna be able to land him. Here we go. We got Devontae Smith still on the board. Let's see, almost 1,833 yards last season. 0 touchdowns. Let's see, what did he have? 900. All right, get the hell out of here. Okay. Is David Montgomery going to go away? Yeah, David Montgomery is the only running back. I'm going to draft him, and then I'll draft Travis Hunter. And if I lose Travis Hunter, so be it. But I believe Travis Hunter is going to be there, and I didn't believe David Montgomery was going to be there if I were to draft Travis Hunter first. I don't think David Montgomery would have survived the board. He was the only running back until RJ. Travis Hunter survived the board. Oh my God. I have Travis Hunter on my bench just waiting for him to pop. Dude, this team is nasty. And now it's all about getting, if I can land effing Knicks, it's over. I will do whatever I can to keep up with this team all season long. I swear, please let me get Knicks. If he survives the board and that's my roster, it's over. It is over. Fuck. Quarterbacks are coming off the board. I'm not getting him. He's going to be auto-picked. Oh, shit. Let's just go to all positions. Look, we got a lot of space before we get to Bo Nix. Let's just stay positive. Stay positive, stay positive, stay positive. Let's see. Spencer's Superman team. Andrews. Let's see. Spencer's team. Let's see. Spencer. Spencer has a quarterback. Who's team 6 is auto. What about Nicholas? He's the next one. Nicholas has Patrick Mahomes. He drafted him first overall. I'm kidding. And then we got Cameron. Cameron has Joe Burrow. I think I'm going to get Bo Nix. Holy crap. I'm going to land Bo Nix, a top 5 quarterback fantasy. This is a top 5 quarterback this year. I would I'm in a $250 league. I would pay the 250 to export this roster. I would do it immediately. Isn't it funny that Ramondre Stevenson is 92? Yep, Bo Nix. There it is. Just like real life. Wow. You guys, that's how you do it. That's how you freaking do it. Matthew Golden, the number 1 wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers? I like Ricky Pearsall too, but Matthew Golden? Come on. Damn, dude, this team is insane. I don't think I've ever drafted a team this good in all of my years. I love it too because if Xavier Worthy goes out there and he's like, okay, or Justin Fields isn't getting Garrett Wilson the ball, it's like I've given myself a buffer. Like between Travis Hunter, Matthew Golden, Xavier Worthy, and Garrett Wilson, like 2 of them are going to be every week starters. 2 of them are going to hit. I would love to get what am I trying to say? Deebo Samuel. I would love to get Deebo. And this guy right here, he's not going to survive the board because of the auto drafts, but the things they've been saying about him from camp is like, who is that guy? People that are coming to visit. Mbuka, he's going to be a problem. That's another thing. Mark my words, like he's going to be good. I love the upside with the Deebo Samuel Washington Commanders. If I can land him, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pick 99. I should unless Cameron or Chance pick him. I mean, at some point I can't get my way, right? Come on. Deebo. When he is healthy, dude, he's freaking good. Holy crap. I got him. Deebo Samuel. Travis Hunter. Matthew Golden. I'm gonna do something. I can afford it. Let's see. I just took the Broncos defense because they're gonna get me freaking 15 points every week. I was the first one to take a defense. And I love it. What round is that? 11th? Took a defense in the 11th round. I don't got any problem with that. So one thing is kicker. Or I was gonna say running back, but I forgot. I got 3 because I flexed David Montgomery. And if Travis Hunter's popping every week, then really I'm gonna have one of these guys on the bench. So if CMC or Bucky Irving get injured, then I can insert Montgomery and flex Deebo. This is such a well-rounded team. I am very happy, but I do want to see what I can get with backup tight end now. We got Tucker Kraft, who is a solid option. Dalton Kincaid. I think that's where I would want to go. Jonnu Smith is interesting because he had a lot of success with Miami last year. And the one thing about quarterbacks that are in their 40s, they don't want to get hit. Aaron Rodgers is going to be looking his way. Let's see. Let's get out of tight end and just look at all positions. Jordan Mason. Oh, Jordan Mason, absolutely. If Jordan Mason is on my list. I can't believe I forgot about him. Holy crap, I'm so glad I went back to all positions. Mason, dude. Jordan Mason's going to have a crazy good year, I think. And I love that insurance. Yeah, let's get another tight end. I'm going to go with Kincaid. Maybe it's, you know, say what you want. It's the right move there. And that's right there exactly what I'm talking about. We're like, I don't want to go down the board for him. It's like, dude, when we get to this part of the draft, it's not accurate. See, they have Trey Benson listed as a Cardinal. And I thought you said he was a free agent. But maybe this is inaccurate. I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying. It's like everywhere on ESPN, they keep showing him as a Cardinal. So I got 2 more bench picks. So this is a chance to, holy crap, Kyle Pitts. I can get Kyle Pitts? Is he hurt? I know that he's been a bust every year, but does it really matter at this point in the draft? I mean, imagine if he has a good year. Falcons trading Kyle Pitts. What? The Atlanta may or may not end up trading Kyle Pitts. If they end up deciding to get rid of their talented but inconsistent tight end during the final season of the contract, there could be an obstacle. $10 million is due for the season, and in a midseason deal, that won't be an easy amount to stomach. This is an important upcoming stretch for Kyle Pitts, the athletic gifted number 4, 50-year option. If Pitts is a rough first half of the season, okay, so he's going to play. The bottom line is that he's going to play. There's no holdout. He knows that he's been a bust, and he's got Marvin Mims. Ooh. Yeah. What? Where did Kyle Pitts get drafted? Oh, no, here he is. Dude, Kyle Pitts? Kyle Pitts at what, 140? That's crazy. Oh, I like Najee Harris too. It's gonna auto draft. I gotta take Najee first. Here we go. Kyle Pitts. Holy crap. Time for a kicker. I want to get the kicker that booted the 70-yarder. Out of Jacksonville, Cam Little. Field goal attempts. I think they'll be Detroit's kicker probably makes sense with the offense. Tyler Bass is a safe bet. Chris Boswell had a really good season. Maybe the Steelers have a way for getting into those field goal games. I don't really think it matters that much. I'm just going to get Cam Little because it's fun. No, I'm going to get Will Lutz. They're projected the same. I'll take my kicker. Will Rickards is an interesting pick because I feel like their head coach is too talented to not get, but maybe the quarterback's not talented enough to score touchdowns. Let's get some diversity. There we go. Boom. Hold on. Holy crap. This freaking team is loaded. Loaded. Now, I didn't think I was going to be able to get that many freaking. I don't know if it was because of the mock draft or what. I have no idea how I got away with that. But I did. And I'm not complaining about it at all. So this is my roster. And I can't believe it. Christian McCaffrey, Bucky Irving, Brock Bowers, Garrett Wilson, Xavier Worthy, David Montgomery, Travis Hunter, Bo Nix, Matthew Golden, Deebo Samuel, the Broncos defense, Jordan Mason, Dalton Kincaid, Najee Harris, Kyle Pitts, Will Rickard. Copy link. Holy crap. I can't believe that I was able to pull that draft off. And of course, I'm going to post it right now on X, on at NFL with Kyle. Let's see if it works. Let's see. I wish it didn't post a link. Let's see. I'll do it this way. I'll take a screenshot. And I'll just crop it. Crop, drop, and lock it. Crop, drop, and lock it. Boom. I did draft, we got the Broncos defense and Bo Nix. Both have a week 12 bye. Bucky Irving and Garrett Wilson both had a week 9. Brock Bowers and David Montgomery both had a week 8. But overall, as long as I didn't have 3 players with the same bye, then we're pretty good. There we go. I'll save that. Done. And then I want to see what the link looks like that I'm sending people. Let me hit enter. Oh, wait, that's just a link for them to come do a mock draft. That was sneaky of you. I don't know. The way they made it look like I was sharing my picks. No, it doesn't open that. It just opens up create a league, join a public league. I'm going to say grade my fantasy draft 10 team PPR snake. Let's go for visibility. We'll go hashtag fantasy football draft. Hashtag ESPN fantasy. Nope, that's not a thing. Let's just do hashtag fantasy football then. Fantasy football. Boom. And then picture fantasy. Let's see, recent screenshot. There it is. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, I only screenshotted 11 players. Let's try that again. The worst part is I'm going to post this and there's going to be I'm going to get a like from Jinja and no one else is going to see it. Which is cool, until we get our visibility up. But I wish more people interacted with me. Because I feel like once more people are interacting with you, it's a lot easier to make content in general. Because, you're like engaging. Oh, no, it does show the whole picture. You just got to click it. Okay. So one more time, it was, oh, there we go. It wants me to crop it. There we go. Save. Boom. So it's Bo Nix, Christian McCaffrey, Bucky Irving, Garrett Wilson, Xavier Worthy, Brock Bowers, David Montgomery, the Broncos defense, Will Rickards, Travis Hunter, Matthew Golden, Deebo Samuel, Jordan Mason, Dalton Kincaid, Najee Harris, and Kyle Pitts. I love it. I love it. And I just posted it. And you guys can go see that at NFL with Kyle on X. NFL with Kyle. Well, I hope you guys had fun, man. I had a really great time. Fantasy football, to me, it's one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite things in life. But I will be, I'll be back tomorrow, Sunday. Tomorrow, Florida State, Alabama's playing. I might stream that game just to just dip our toes in the water, get ready for the NFL season, So yeah, I'm going to stream Florida State, Alabama football tomorrow. Also, Lee Corso is doing his final college game day tomorrow. So if you grew up with Lee Corso, it's a sad day, for everybody that grew up listening to him on Saturday morning. So if he was a part of your life, definitely, tune into that tomorrow, because it's going to be his last episode ever on college game day. Can't believe it. But thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button on your way out of here. And I will see you guys. Oh, I just got an F. I just got an F on my fantasy grade. Bonkers Broncos gave me an F. You guys know that's not true. There's no way I got an F on that. Bonkers Broncos has to be watching. He's in here. He's in here. I'm going to heart like it. You know why I got an F? Is because I drafted Najee Harris and Brock Bowers. But you got to take your heart out of fantasy football. And plus, it's not like I drafted, Hermit the Frog or something. But all right, tomorrow, Lee Corso, Alabama, Florida State, streaming. See you guys then. Thank you guys for, just being here, interacting. We got a new subscriber too, Crooked Commish. Appreciate all of the interaction. I mean, you and Jinja were the stream today, so I really appreciate you. I'm happy that you're part of the team now. Rick's a Bears fan, so he's going to be stoked that we got a Bears fan subbed up in here. Crooked Commish. I'm going to make sure I write that down so I can tell him. Crooked Commish. But appreciate the interaction. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next stream. See you.